Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Ibrox press room ahead of Rangers versus Queen of the South in the Cup, the League Cup. Rangers have made a lot of changes tonight with Queen of the South visiting, kind of as expected, obviously with the Old Firm game coming up at the weekend, and the fact that Van Bronckhorst hardly made any changes. I think it was just one change to the starting 11 that he made at the weekend for the visit of Ross County. And it's a bit perplexing. I don't know if it's going to be Ryan Jack at centre-back, if it's going to be Adam Devine at centre-back. I'll read you the team as it could be. Alan McGregor in goals. We know where he will play, with Ridvan Yilmaz presumably at left back. You imagine the back four will comprise of Ryan Jack, Leon King, Adam Devine, and who have missed out, Ridvan Yilmaz, perhaps with Jack at centre back next to King. I maybe thought it would be Jack at right back, given Devine's played a little bit of football at centre half as well, but it's probably more likely, I guess, in hindsight, that Jack is the one to fill in there. You presume Rangers will have lots of the ball, not come under too much pressure, but we'll just have to wait and see on that one. Stephen Davis and Glenn Kamara, I guess that's kind of was always going to happen, a midfield pairing, because just of the depth that Rangers have at number 8, with Yanis Hadji injured, with Alex Lowry injured, Glenn Kamara and Stephen Davis, as I say, presumably with Kamara playing a little bit higher, and Scott Arfield there as well. You'd imagine that Scott Arfield would be the highest of the three midfielders. Right wing looks like it'll be Ravi Matondo, with Robbie Ure in the middle and Fashion Sakala off the left. So 11 changes for Giovanni Van Bronckhorst from the weekend. For midweek, the bench comprises of Robbie McCrory, James Sands, Scott Wright, Charlie McCann, Borna Barisic, Robbie Fraser, Zach Lovelace, Paul Messiah, I think it's pronounced, and forgive me if that's wrong, and Archie Stevens. Queen of the South, Max Curry, David Mackay, Harry Cochrane, Rory Payton, Josh Todd, Gavin Riley, Lee Conley, Kieran McKenna, Calvin McRory, Ewan East, and Stephen Hendry. Harry Cochrane, probably the name that stands out there, the ex-Hearts youngster. Gavin Riley was at Livingston, I think, as recently as last season. Tonight, obviously, with Rangers facing lower league opposition, will be, I think, a game that's all about getting the job done. Rangers will, of course, respect their opponent tonight in a televised game. But I think the number of changes tells you that they expect to have the quality on the pitch to go and get the job done. I'm going to get through some of the comments. Looks like Jack might play at centre-back. Stephen says, yeah, probably, Stephen. Given that Ryan Jack had played right-back earlier in his career, that's just what sprung out to me. But most likely it'll be Ryan Jack in there, I guess, next to Leon King, with Adam Devine on the right. Gordon saying Jack playing at right back again. That's similar to the previous comment. John says looks like a back three. Could well be a back three, but I guess that probably takes away the quality of Yilmaz and Devine going forward. Not also, I don't think you probably don't need a Jack, Davis, Kamara and Arfield midfield at home to the Queen of the South, you'd imagine. So I'd guess that one of the midfielders will step back a little bit and then play in the centre of defence. Gordon says we'd have loved to see Lovelace. You might well, Gordon, because he's on the bench. Obviously, Zach Lovelace and Robbie Ure starting, big night for him. He was on the bench against PSV. I've watched him in bits for the B team. He has lots of quality. Watched him most recently in a win over East Kilbride when I was there. It's the last game I was at in person for the B team, and himself and Lovelace up top were excellent. Formed quite a partnership, with Lovelace just dropping off, playing slightly deeper. I think that's a facet of Lovelace's game. He can play a number of different positions, but Robbie Ure got the ability to stretch the game and go beyond. Relatively physical, relatively tall, and a lot of the B team players have been playing. They were playing Dumbarton, obviously, not all that long ago. So the quality of opposition that they're up tonight, Rangers will hope that they'll be able to acquit themselves well against that, given the fact that they've played a lot of competitive football against men. Obviously, in the last year or so. Stephen's there saying I would expect Devine at right back. Good evening to David and Malky as well. Not much firepower on the bench, so hopefully that might lead to Lovelace getting a few minutes. I think that's completely fair. Rangers, obviously, I expected Tavernier and Goldson to, maybe not Tavernier, but certainly Goldson to start, just because has kind of always been the case. But Van Bronckhorst, obviously off the back of a number of taxing European games, and the game at the weekend has chosen to give players a rest, probably why he's looking ahead to the weekend. But Rangers don't have many, many players on the bench with an option of changing it, but they'll hope that obviously they won't have to do that. Stephen Davis captains the side as well, I should say that. Rob Allen says, good to see Robbie Ure start, absolutely. I completely agree with that. Derek says, you all wanted and expected changes. Well, you got them. I think it's 11 changes all told. Freddie says there's a game on BBC. I believe the game is on Premier Sports. Freddie, and Gordon saying on, I presume, lovely. So let's hope we see him for at least 30 minutes. Just get through a couple more of the comments to see before I head up to the gantry. I'm so happy to see Fashion getting his chance. I hope he proves his worth tonight. Yeah, I think Sakala obviously always had to start this game. He's not really had a chance this season. You look at him and Matondo, that's some pace off the left and right wing. It'll be interesting to see if Rangers can utilise that, get them wide, or whether they'll come inside and allow the fullbacks to go around them. Obviously, you've got Robbie Fraser as well, the B team's left back on the bench. But I guess a night for Sakala to finally play some football this season, having not been all that involved so far in the opening games. I think his first minutes actually came away against PSV, and he will be hoping that he can get, I'm sure, a couple of goals, provide a goal threat, maybe play close to Ur to ensure he's not too isolated tonight against Queen of the South in the Premier Cup. Right, that'll do us for now. Obviously, the main news being a number of changes for Rangers, a number of youngsters coming in. You have got experience on the bench in the form of Sands and Wright, Barisic as well on the bench. McCann, I thought he'd maybe start tonight, but I guess you've got to give the likes of Davies and Kamara minutes, particularly when they didn't start at the weekend. We'll be back right after the show, or a wee bit after, I should say, following the post-match press conference. Hopefully an entertaining game here at Ibrox. Enjoy it whether you're watching at home or you're heading along to